team, I hope you're all well. Today I'm going to tell you about some of my 2020 reading plans. So this is just to tell you about some plans of series that I would really like to finish that I've just not had the chance to, because I've either started them at the end of 2019 or I've just not gotten around to finishing them, or they're just really frigging long, or they're still going. Then I've got some reading plans of series I want to start next year, so well, start and finish will be great. And then some classics that I would like to get to. I don't tend to read classics, so there are a few on my list that I would really like to get to next year, for one reason or another. And then a couple rereads as well that I would really like to do, a series that I've really enjoyed recently. So let's get into them, because there's quite a few here. These are obviously not concrete plans, they're just plans that I've come up with that I'd really like to do. It's also not the be all and end all of my plans. Like, I've got other plans that I want, but I've just not fully, the idea has not fully developed yet. I've still got a ways to go with it. So these are just what I've got so far. So series that I would like to either finish or continue with, because they've not finished yet, which the first one will make sense in a second, are the Jack Reacher series by Lee Child. So this is the first in the series, Killing Floor. I have read 2 of the actual novels, and then I've read a lot of the short stories as well, but I'd really like to continue reading some of these next year. I don't think I've picked a single Jack Reacher novel up this year, actually. I read both this and 61 Hours last year, so but I really love Jack Reacher and I really want to get into it more as well. So I'd really love to continue reading these in 2020. I have plans to pick some more of these up, which is great, because I have about 10 of them I think on my shelves. There are about 24 in total I think. So, and I can get a couple on audio from my library, which is cool. So I'd love to continue with that. I would love to finish the Immortal Engines series by Philip Reeve. I read this in October. I really loved it. I read it and then watched the film, really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, but I'm still mulling over the fact that it might be a 5, because I really, once I watched the film, it just embedded it more in my head and I enjoyed it a lot. Listen to this on audio. I'm going to do the same for the other 3 books, but I really want to continue with this series. It's very good. I do highly recommend picking it up if you haven't done so already. I want to continue with the Lunar Chronicles, so I've only read Cinder so far by Marissa Meyer. I think I've read this, did I read this year or was it end of last year? I can't remember, but I've really enjoyed it nonetheless, and I want to continue with this series. There are 3 novels in this series and then I think 2 novellas. If I'm correct, I'm not sure, but I really want to just continue with the series. I really enjoyed it. It was very good. I love the sci-fi element of the retelling. It's very good. I really loved it. It was fantastic. I want to continue with the Throne of Glass series. So I read Throne of Glass and the second one, whose name I can't remember, but I got partway through Hair of Fire and just didn't continue with it. So I want to continue with the series and finish it next year, which will be great. So I think I've got 5 books left, because there's 7 in the series. So I would like to finish the series. That would be really cool if I could do that next year. And then I would also like to finish the Stalking Jack the Ripper series by Kerry Maniscalco. I have only read Stalking Jack the Ripper, which I read in October. Really loved it a lot. So I am hoping to continue and finish the series in 2020, because it's great. Then series I would like to start in 2020. I would like to start and finish the Lord of the Rings series by J.R.R. Tolkien. I read The Hobbit last year, I think. I don't think it was this year. I don't know when I read it actually, but I didn't like it. I watched all the films first. I don't know whether that made it worse or not, but I did not like the book, so I'm really hoping that these are better. But I know that these came after The Hobbit, so I'm really hoping that they are better. I really love The Lord of the Rings. I'm obsessed with it. My dad's obsessed with it. It's really great. So I'm hoping that I really enjoy this series. Oh god, I'm going to be so disappointed. Do you know how much I was so disappointed? I was really annoyed with myself for not liking The Hobbit. Just didn't enjoy it at all. But my dad has read The Hobbit. He's also read The Lord of the Rings. He didn't like The Hobbit, but he enjoyed The Lord of the Rings. So I'm just hoping that that is a thing with us Barrowcloughs, and that's what all it is. I would also like to get to Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Ames. This is Cody from Cody's Book Corner, one of her favourites. She really enjoyed it. I got up to chapter 2 actually. I did start reading this the other month. My battery's about to die. Shit. Did start reading this the other month, but I didn't continue with it. I am really hoping to read this series. I think it's just a duology. Bloody Rose is the second in the series, so I don't think there's any more coming out, but I don't know. I could be wrong because I haven't read it yet and I don't know how that ends. Then I would like to get to the Grishaverse trilogy. This is Shadow and Bone, the first in the series by Leigh Bardugo. Once I've read this series, I would like to then move on to Six of Crows and then obviously Kingdom of Scars. So I'd like to just do the whole of the Grishaverse next year. That would be great if I could do that. I would also like to do The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. So this is Mistborn Book 1. I would like to... Apparently I started this too, I got to page 45. I would really like to read that. It would be great if I could read this whole series because it's another one of Cody's favourites. It's high fantasy. I think it's one of G's favourites as well. So I would really love to continue, like, go with that series. And then Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I read Stranger Dreamer last year. I'm going to be reading Muse of Nightmares during the month of December, but I would really like to continue with some more of Laini Taylor and read something else she's done, so I'd like to read this series. Classics that I'd like to pick up are Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I've heard good things about this. I'm very excited to pick it up. I know there's a film coming out in December, so I think I'm going to put off watching that until I've read this, unless my dad ends up pushing me because I know he's read Little Women. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I would really like to read Little Women. I'd also like to read 1984 by George Orwell because I've heard good things. It's a dystopian and I love dystopians, but I've heard really good things about this, so I'd love to pick this up. I'd also like to pick up Tess of the Herbivores by Thomas Hardy because again, I've heard good things. I know that I've had this recommended to me on several occasions, so I'd really like to pick this up a lot. And then I'd like to pick up One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kenzie because again, I've heard good things. This is an illustrated edition and it's got deckled edges and I'm very excited about it. I picked it up in Waterstones earlier on this year and I've just not picked it up yet, so I'd really like to pick this up next year. That would be fantastic. And then the series that I would like to get to, like, reread next year are The Illuminae Files by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I read this earlier on this year, but I really want to reread it already, but I'm holding off until 2020 because I just think it would be better to do it that way. So I'd really like to reread this. I do recommend the audio while following with the book. It's amazing. And then I'd like to reread the whole of the I Heart series by Lindsay Kelk. In fact, I'd just like to reread all of her books, in particular the I Heart series. So I'd love to reread this as well. Might try and set up a readathon actually, but we'll see. So yeah, those are my reading plans for 2020 briefly. Please let me know if you think I should make any of the series that I want to read a priority over some of the others. Also, please let me know if you've got any recommendations for me. I'm always open for recommendations, but obviously there's a lot of books here that I want to get to in 2020, so we will see how that goes. But yeah, I'm looking forward to 2020. 2019 has been a really good reading year, so I am hoping that 2020 delivers as well. And I shall see you next time. Bye for now.